Okay, so today will be our doubt session for everything that you have. So may I know what kind of what sorts of problem that you have currently you are facing out, so that we can discuss the topic of that. Any specific topic, or you want me to give you the questions? Good morning, Hariharan. Good morning, Parag. Okay, ठीक है एकता, I'll be explaining Karing once again. Apart from that, any other concept that you want me to cover? Closures. Okay, so closures plus Karing. Let me note it down. Let me create another page. Doubt session 5th of June. Okay. So in this particular thing, first thing that you want me to cover, that is closures. Second thing that we wanted to cover is currying. Okay. Anything else? Or else I'll be just explaining this two concept today, and I'll be giving you the questions regarding to that. Is it making sense? Okay. Fine. Okay. So let's start with the closures now. Let me share my screen. Wait a minute. Let me know once you can able to see my screen of OneNote. Okay, so I have defined this of doubt session, and that we will be discussing about the closures and currying. Fine, cool. So may I know first of all that you have experience, like you have practice with these two concepts anywhere soon or not? After we have covered that, have you practiced that? Did you practice that? Everyone else? What about everyone else? So my audio is having problem for everyone. No, right? So please refresh that. Fine. So no worries. Okay. So let me start with the closures first. So if I say closure, then see, I'll be explaining everything once again, है ना? So I'll be covering entire thing that we have covered in the previous session when we had discussed about that. I will be covering that. I'll be showing you how to implement that, what and all things we require in terms of the closures, and how to get through it in terms of the interview questions. Cool. Is that making sense, everyone? For everyone else, right? Okay. So just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I'm opening something for you guys. Okay. So we are here right now, and I hope you can see my screen of OneNote, right? Yes or no? Everyone can see my screen of OneNote right now. Cool. So see, in the closures, we had learned that we require two knowledge of prior concepts. Okay. First, that was that nested functions. You should have some knowledge, some prior knowledge regarding to this function of nested functions, right? The second thing that you have to have, that is the how to return a function. Okay, how to return a function. Yesterday also I saw you how to return a function in hosting concept. Yes or no? We did return a function, you know. If we have a function and inside that we have another function, and we just write, let's say we have abc function, Inside that I have AB function. Here you are just writing return 1, and here you are writing return AB. If you write that, then it will return what? This AB along with its lexical scope, है ना? So this AB's function code would be returned if I have something like where a equals to 2. So along with that, it will return that. But this return AB would also return this function code. If in case I have I have returned that this function call, then it will just return 1. Yes or no? Okay, we did that, right? So this is something which is required to understand in terms of returning a function, and this is nothing but a nested function. Cool. Okay, so there's two things that we have to require, that we have some kind of prior knowledge in terms of understanding of the closure. Okay. Now, after we have understanding about that, so everyone is comfortable about this one. Everyone is comfortable about this two concepts. Okay. So after that we took an example. For an instance, we had this one. Let's say I have my function in. I'll name my function as let's say like x. Okay, in x, I have my one variable where a is equals to 7. Then I have my function y. If I have, hypothetically, I have my function y, which is nothing but my nested function, right? So in this particular function y, I'll be just writing my console dot log, and here I took the example of a, right? Now, and I called now the y, and I closed this particular function. Outside of this function, I called my x. Okay, this was my flow. So closures basically mean that a function bind together with with its lexical environment. Now, what do I mean by with the lexical environment, right? So see, in this particular scope, starting from here, ending from here, why I'm starting from here and ending from here? Because this is your nothing but a function scope, right? So between of this function scope, what and all your functions, sorry, your functions and your variables are there, it is nothing but your lexical scopes. Okay, or else for understanding purpose, you can just remember, you can just understand that this variables are only inside your lexical scope, because functions anyway you are recalling it, like you are anyway returning that, okay, or you are calling that by anyway. Okay, okay. But what and all, it's between of this scope is something known as my lexical scope. Lexical, that means my local. Okay, okay. So a closure does mean that of, like if you return that particular thing, then a function together with its lexical environment, if we are returning that, then we will something known as a closure. Okay, so function along with its lexical scope forms the closure. How many of you people are getting me? Am I making sense, guys? Am I making sense? This is what we covered, right? Okay, so I'm just repeating once again what the thing like written on the MDN side. We saw that. Okay, yes, Harian, I'll be explaining that. Let me share one more thing with you regarding the MDN side. We like we saw that, but let me just first of all take you to the closures. Okay, in the from the MDN side, closure MDN. Okay, let me share that. Let me know once it is visible. Everyone, it is visible now. So see, a closure is a combination of a function bundled together with references to its surrounding state. Is nothing but what? My lexical environment. You understand now what is my lexical environment? Let's read again. Okay, a closure is a combination, that means a bundle of a function together with references to its surrounding state. That does mean that this one. Okay, this one. Okay, So this function is in the closure of this function with this particular variable, or else we can also call this as a lexical environment. See, name is a lexical or local variable created by init function. Okay. Okay. Now, so lexical scoping, that does mean that, consider the following example code. Here init creates a local variable called as name. Okay. A function called as display name. The display name function is an inner function that defined inside the init. Okay, so this is my nexted function. Yes or no? है and it is available only within the body of init. Okay, so its scope is inside this only, because it is defined inside that. Yes or no? Are you agreeing with me? Right? Okay. Now what is written here is display name function has no local variables. Okay, display name function has no local variables on its own. However, since inner function have access to the variables of outer function, this is pretty important thing that we look. This is like base of my closures. Okay, so inner function that have access to the variables of outer functions. That does mean that this function is having access of this. Okay, okay. So can access variable name declared init parent function init. Okay, so if I just return that, and if I'm calling outside of that, then it should have access about this. This is what the meaning of that. Cool. Okay, let's take another example. Let's say we have example of this. Okay, so in that we have a make function of function name. Name is my Mozilla. In the display name is in the display name, we are alerting the name, and we are returning the display name. Okay, return what here? Display name will return what according to the closures? Display name will return this function bundled with its lexical environment. That does mean that this name equals to Mozilla. Is it fine? If I call this particular thing, then this will return my function code along with its lexical environment. Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So now let me show you one another thing in terms of my. Okay. So now let me share my screen of developer tools. Okay. So this was our yesterday's code. Let me delete it through it. Okay, fine. So guys, now what I mean to say here, that what was implemented over there, we will not look into it. We'll just consider one another example with respect to that. Okay. So closures is nothing but, if you want to like understand that, it's nothing but it will return a function. It will not just return a function, it will return a function with the lexical environment. Okay. So let's say we'll take the same example that we have just discussed about this function x. Inside that I have where a is equals to 7. Inside that I have my function y, and I think so we had console that console.log a. So see, it's trying to access its outer functions variable a. Cool. Okay. Now I'm just doing return y, not the function call of y. Okay. And here I'm doing where z is equals to x. Okay. Okay. So if you just console out z, then you will observe, what do you think, what it will be getting printed, what it will print? Okay, let's run it out. See, it will print the function y only, right? But if you see here, if you just call it out, then if you are calling it out, then you don't need to print this. We are just doing that. Okay, if you just do that, what will happen now? What will happen now? Okay, it will return the 7 thing. Okay, so if you put the debugger here, or if you put the debugger inside this y, okay, so you will observe that it will form a closure with its outer function or with its parent function along with its lexical environment. I hope this line makes a lot of sense. So whenever you are inside a nested function, it will form a closure with its outer function or with its parent function, that is x, and it will also have access of this lexical environment of A. Okay, Hariharan, you don't get how it will print the 7. Okay, fine. So let me copy that. Let me get you through the our Chrome's browser debugger. Can you see my debugger? Make it some big. Okay. So I hope you can see now. Everyone can see now the screen of the Chrome. Okay. Now, if I run this out, it will debug into that. Okay. So now if you see here, it has form a closure. Right? So it has form a closure with its outer function, that is my parent function of x. Till now, Hariharan, you are clear? If you are inside some nested function, then it will form a closure with its outer function. Cool. Okay. Now, if you go inside that, you will see the lexical environment of it. That does mean that it has a lexical environment of what? A. Okay. Of this function. Okay. So this functions any local variable or anything like that, such like that, it will form in the closures lexical environment. Am I making sense, Hariharan? Okay. We'll be looking out in detail right now. So now, see, if I'm just going out of it, and instead of that, I am putting debugger. I'm putting debugger here before the call. Okay, let's say above the lines. Okay, like here. So now if you see now, see if it has scans through everything, है ना? Z would be undefined. This function X would have its function location. Yes or no? है ना? Okay, so if I just go it out, like go, if I just press F10, then it will not be scanned once again, right? Because it is not a function call, it is just function declaration. So it will be come here, right? And here it will observe that it is my function call. So if I press F11, it will go inside my function X. Now, if you see anything outside X is present or not, X is my superior function here. X is my like global function here. There is nothing outside X, right? So that is why you are not finding any closures with respect to anything right here. Okay. Now again you will see that this is my function declaration, not my function call, right? So it will come here. It will just return y. Return y, that does mean that it has a function copy, functions body. Sorry, not copy. It's function have body. And if you see here, it will also lock the location of function, right? The line number 4. Okay, so line number 4, my function body will be started, right? So if you just press F10 once again, wherever this function was called, this entire function body will be returned here. Yes or no? Okay. So if I press F10, then it will return here where my function was called, and inside my Z, you can see my function location is there, right? Okay. So whenever I will call this Z, then it will find its function location. Yes or no? Guys, are you clear with me right now? You are with me? है ना? Okay. So what is my like whatever my function location here, it will go in that particular thing because I'm calling this Z. Okay. So if I just press F11 once again, it will go to line number 5th because line number 4 has been locked, right? So it will do my n+1. Yes, right? Yes or no? We looked into it yesterday. Okay. So whatever my line number would be, it +1 would be go. Okay. So line number 5th will be my control flow, right? If I just press F10 once again, and yeah, if you see here, it has formed the closure. Okay. So it has formed the closure outside of its function, right? And along with its lexical environment, although my X would not be there right now, X would be destroyed anyway. Okay. Because I had taken the copy of that in my Z. Okay. So that is why it has printed the 7. Now, if I'll ask you that instead of that particular thing, what if I have something like, for an example, I'll be just returning, I will be just returning another function from the X. Let's say, for an example, okay, let me take this example as of now. Okay, so let's say I have this, and here after consoling out, I'm changing my A to 50. Okay, I think I under like I have taken this example in your class also. I don't remember that. But see, if I will change my variable number, like variable value here, like variable value A is 7 here, my A is 50 here. So what do you think? What it will be getting printed after this Z? So if I'm calling this Z, it will again go with this function location. It will come here. So now here, what will be my lexical scope of A? Think about it. So how many of you are saying 7? How many of you are saying 50? Okay, I can see Hariharan, Ekta. Ekta is saying 50, Hariharan saying 7, Bharat, Aradhya, reassign as 50. Okay. So those who are in favor of 7, they are not correct. Okay. Because I just said, na, see, let us debug that. So if I debug that, you can see like now I'm calling my X, A will be my 7, A will be my 50 again. I'm returning Y. So at the time of returning Y, I will be returning this function body only. Yes or no? Okay. So wherever my this function was called here, my function location was logged. That means I'll be calling my fifth line. So if you see here, my A's copy would be updated. Yes or no? Okay. So A will not be 7, A will be 50 now. Okay. So don't make this mistake. I had covered this example in the class also. Okay. Fine. So it was just a basic. We'll be looking into it in detail right now. Okay. Today. So don't worry about it. I'll be explaining a lot of concept with respect to the closures. Now let's take another example. Okay. So if I have, so you understood, right? Like that if I update my copy, it will be like that only. Okay. So now what if I have something like a parent function of this X? Okay. So let's say if we take const A equals to 7, I already said that if you do const, then inside the const, can you change the variable's value? So what it will be returning? What do you think? If I just remove this debugger, you can see the same error that we have in assignment to the constant variable. Okay, so it will not be there. Fine. Instead of that, if you do let also, okay, so let in the let, can I reassign it? Okay, so what it will be giving me the output now? What will be my output now? Okay, the same output. Fine. Cool. So now what my question is, so everyone is clear about this one particular point? Okay. So now what my question is, suppose I had this function, and outside of that, I will be having my another function such as Z. Okay. So inside this Z, I will be taking out this entire thing. Okay. So let me take this particular thing. Fine. Okay. Now I will be taking one variable inside that. Let's say let b is equals to 10, and suppose I have this X. In the X, I have taken A equals to 7. Inside that console.y, I'm logging my A as well as my B. Cool. And outside of that, let me remove that, and I'm just calling Y here. Cool. And outside of that, I'm calling my X. And outside of that one, I'm calling my Z. Okay, this is my code. What do you think? What will be my output? What should be my output? So now please note, X is my, now it will be enclosed in the block of Z. Okay, Z is my superior, not X. So how it will be performing now? So please note here, you are trying to access not just the parent scope of A, not just lexical environment of parent, but you are also trying to access the lexical environment of parent's parent. Okay. Yes, grandparent. So everyone agrees it will be 7 and 10. Everyone. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's 7 and 10. It's pretty much clear, right? So if you just want to see in detail, let's just put the debugger here. Okay, let's debug this. Okay, so if you go, if it is my function, right? So it will not go inside that. It will come here in that in the Z. It will go in this particular B. Now B is my superior function, so there will be no closure here. Okay, in this particular B, I this is my particular function declaration and definition, so it will not go here. It will go in the X. It is my function call, so it will go in the particular line number 5th. So in the line number 5th, if you see, then it is forming a closure with its parent. What is my parent of X? It is Z only. Yes or no? Hai, right? Okay. So if you see in the Z, then Z is my parent function name. Okay. So X is forming closure with Z along with its lexical environment, that is B. Okay. Okay. So Z's lexical environment is what? It's B only, right? Hai. Now again, if I'm having A equals to 7, okay, this is my function body, so it has not executed that. Inside that I have my function y is called. If I press F11 now, you can see y is enclosed with X is enclosed with Z. So it is forming two closures. Okay, so it will remember what is the existence of my particular variable. Okay, so here I'm trying to access A and B. So A and B will be having access of that. Am I clear? Okay, pretty much clear. It is super easy, right? Just concept you need to understand, right? Fine. Now what I want to ask you now is do one thing guys, just do one thing, do a practice of this right now. Okay, make a particular thing of, like, make an example of like this, play around with this for a while. Okay, I'm just giving you some time for that. Okay, then after I'll be giving you some more questions regarding to that. Am I making sense, people? Yes, Parag. Yes, Priyanshu, please ask. Oh, there is no audio. Fine. So it's you are telling me like that. B equals to 40, right? So what do you think, everyone? What will be my output now? What should be my output now? Please think about it. Then after I'll tell you. See here, B is in my local scope of X, right? Inside of Y, it is having excess of X, right? Okay. So it is a really nice example. Let's run it out. Okay. Let's run it out here. Fine. Debugger. So if you see here, now I'm calling Z inside B equals to 10, calling X, A equals to 7. B is updated to, like, B is also in the local thing of X, right? So B is updated to 40 now. Okay, so whatever the local scope of that, so B is here. Okay, so can I access this B inside of this function? This B inside this function naturally, right? So it has just updated the copy of that with the 40 now, है ना? So and if you are trying to access and if you are trying to call this particular thing, you are calling the updated copy of A and B, right? Got it? Fine. So please try to execute this now on your own machine, and after your dig down of that, after you are playing around with that, we'll starting with another problem. Also, if we reassign B with another value of Y in Y, it will also be updated. Yes, it will be updated. Hariharan, the function scope is what? You understand that first of all. See, this is my B, right? So B will be act as my global variable of X, है ना? So X can be access, X can access B, na? If I don't do that also, if I just doing console.log A and B here, forget about this function Y, okay? I'll be just directly function, I will be directly just doing console.log A and B here. So whether it like it can access, right? Because B is in my global scope of X. Although it's B is in my local scope of Z, can I say that? And so you cannot access B outside of Z, but you can access B inside of X. Yes. Okay. So please try that. I'm waiting for that. Okay. You want to try, everyone? You want to try this? Okay. So please try. I'm waiting for that. You have sufficient time for that as well. Nilanjan, I'm just saying that please try this particular thing of closures, so whatever we have covered till now. Please try to execute it on your own browser and see what it's getting printed, and play around with this for a while. Okay, and then after I'll be giving you another questions regarding to that. Yes, yes. Ekta, that is why I already I always say na that please do not miss any of the classes, because if you just miss a single class, you will difficult to find, uh difficult to get through with another classes. All right. So you can do just one thing for today. That is like today is like weekend, right? It's Sunday. So if you have some time, you can just watch through the recordings of the both of the classes. Just watch it for once, and let's see what and all things you are understanding, what and all things you have doubt. If you have some doubt on that, you can just ping of any of the any of the ts. All right, they will be helping you out on that. And try to complete the both of session for today, because from tomorrow we are jumping around with different things. But I think so from tomorrow, for tomorrow, we are revising things, what things we have missed from the previous decks, and we are just revising the concepts that you have. Okay, so I'll be revising some more concepts tomorrow also. All right, so please be ready with your concepts and topics for tomorrow also. Right now, what are things? Okay, so done. Everyone else, what is the progress? You are still trying or you're done? Done. Okay, so it was a pretty easy thing, right? Yes or no? It was a pretty easy thing, है ना, to implement that and to get through around with that. Fine. So if you, yeah, please ask. Yes, Deepak. Deepak, are you there? Please ask if you have some doubt. How do I explain this concept? So Deepak, there won't be anything, anyone who will be asking for the definitions, but you should know about the topics crux, I mean to say. So if I be just talking about the closures, then you should know that closures is what the function along with its lexical scope. If you answer that way, nobody will ask you further questions. Or else if you answer with the help of examples, then it's pretty easy for you as well. Okay, so just give you example what we have just given with respect to x and y. Try to access a variable of x inside the y, है ना? So you can also explain like that also. Like if you can explain with terms of like example, then it will be like much easier for you and much easier for interviewer as well. They'll not ask you for a definition. Okay, so don't worry about it. Now I'm asking you one question. Suppose if I have a code, can you see my console of Chrome right now? Okay, can you see everyone? Fine. So I have this code, and I need to find what will be the lock here. What will be locked here? So it's the concept of three things. Okay. First is what my IIFE. Second is what my anonymous function, right? And third is what my closures. So I want to find the output of this. It is mixture of these three concepts. Please try to find it. I'm giving you some time for that. Just for your information, it is like the interview questions. Okay, so it can be asked this kind of questions, this kind of concepts in your interview. So please try to execute it and let me know what it should be, what the output should be, right? I want answer from everyone. Please try to participate, otherwise I cannot be able to help you. It looks tricky. Let's see. You know what? I have not, like, we have not covered right now the set time mode, है ना? Once we cover set time mode now, I will be asking you hell lot of different kind of tricky questions like that. Okay, guys, please unmute yourself. Like, please mute yourself, everyone. Okay, so many of you guys are saying 0. Priyanshu is saying 1. Okay, so I'm seeing different answers now. Okay, Nana, I'll be explaining about anonymous function once again. Don't worry. It will be 0 or it will be 1. Now I can think, like, I think many of you guys are saying 0. Just for few people are saying 1. Think about it once again. We are not in hurry. Okay, take your time. Okay, so no, that is also one of the problem, that you will be mixing the concepts such as like hosting, currying, closures, anonymous functions, IIFE. Do not miss this out. Okay, like, do not mix this out. I mean to say, okay, everything is different. I can use different concept in one question, but that does not mean that I have just used one concept in a question. Okay. So how many of you guys still want some time, or else I'll be just starting with the explanation? Anyone is still trying or still want some time? Okay. See, I'm assuming everyone has done. So let's try to run this out. Let's take the output first. It will be 0. Now let me explain how. Can anyone explain how?
Hello.
Yes, who's that?
So can I go? So it's me, Ekta.
Yeah. Ekta, please try.
So I just wanted to try
Yeah,
it
yeah.
out. So
Yes.
we have this immediate a function, and since we are invoking it like right after the definition, this that is IIFE. So
Okay.
we are passing a value of 0 to a, and like in the inner immediate b function, like we are calling it, but we are printing 1. So it is might be forming a closure with its outer lexical environment.
Okay.
So that's why like it's giving a
Okay.
matlab 0.
Fine. See. Let's see. Okay. Let's debugger. Inside that also I will be forming a debugger. Okay. So now let's see what it's doing. Oh shit. So sorry. Just a second. I'm sharing once again. Fine. Can you see the screen of debugging tool now? No? The same thing. Okay. So now it is my debugger. Right now I am executing this. Fine. You can see in the scope also there is nothing. Okay. Right now. Now if I go again, it will be enter in here. A will be 0. Okay. So it has called this particular thing. A will be my 0 now. Fine. Now think about it that I am returning it. Right now my B will be nothing because I've just started executing the return statement. If I go inside that, this will be called so that my B will be 1 now. Okay. So my A is 0, B is 1. Now what I'm doing, I'm just, it is forming a closure with its outer function, है ना? So as Ekta suggested, see, this is my immediate a function. Okay, so this is nothing but, just a second, this is nothing but my parent function, that is my immediate a. If you see inside of that, it will be having its what, lexical scope. So in this particular immediate a, I have a variable of what, this a, right? Okay, so it will be in my lexical scope of that. Fine. If I am executing this now, console.log a, it will be having access of that. Fine. So it was a pretty simple and pretty straightforward thing, that it will print 0. Okay. Okay, Ekta, I think so you are on the right path, है ना? You explain like that only, है ना? Fine. Okay, so we have mixed this particular theory concept, and yeah, what is the anonymous function? Anonymous function, that does mean that the function does not have any name. Okay, so let's say here we have not used anonymous functions thing, but see right now, suppose if I'm doing that, let's say function. So we have two possibilities. Either we just do like that, a b c, inside that we will be calling out this. Okay, okay, or else I have possibility that I'll be removing this particular name. I don't want to give my function's name. Okay, and I will be doing like this. Okay, if you do that, let's say console dot log hi. It is a valid syntax. First of all, is it a valid syntax? So what is missing here? See, there are two possibilities. First of all, that is like we can name a function, right? So we can define it like that. Second possibility is like if I don't want to give a name, that is what my anonymous function's name, right? So if you do that now, you will have this particular thing, that function statement requires a function name, right? Okay, because my function has no name, that is why it has giving me this kind of error. But this thing you can use in many things, such as you can do like that, like this. If you do that, then also see if it's giving me the same error, because it will not accept that. But now if I do like this, that like this, will it allow me, will it allow me? Na? So if you do that, your function is there, but you cannot call it, है ना? So see, suppose this is my function, then I can call it my function by abc, है ना? Because my function name is abc, right? Yes or no? Since here there is no function name, how do I call it? So let's say I have another function name, let's say hi again. Okay, so if I want to call my function of this hi, how can I recognize that it is my function's name of hi or hi again? Okay, previously it was pretty easy because I can access it by name, है ना? So if I call it abc, then it will be hi. If I call some other function, then it will be hi again, right? But here I cannot recognize it. So that is why whenever you are working with anonymous function, you has to call it immediately. Okay, so it will call it like hi again. All right, ठीक है? Okay, Nana, I think so this was your doubt. Got it? Cool. So uh now let me ask you one another question with respect to this, that suppose I have my question like this. What will be my output now if I have this? Think about it. I'm giving you some time for think and to give you the output. Do not hurry and do not try to write it down in your console right now. Okay, I'll be giving you time for that as well. Deepak, I'm not in hurry. Take your time. Okay, so how many of you are still trying? Vishal is saying it will throw error, otherwise it's saying 101. How about others? Okay, let's see out. Let's see what it will be there in my output, right? Let's see the output first. It's 10. It's not an error. Okay, so I think so most of you guys have answered it correctly. Let me debug it. I think so it is also pretty straightforward. Let's see out. It's count equals to 0. Then we are in this. We have called our function. Count equals to 0. We are checking or not. Okay, it's 0. Then after we'll make them our count as 1. It will be print as count as 1. Now, yes or no? Then after I'm coming out and count equals to 0 here, right? Yes, count is a global variable, but we have reinitialized it here. Okay. So once you are coming out, it will be destroyed because let has a block scope. Yes, correct. Okay. Okay. So I don't know why some of you guys have answered it as an error, but this is the case. After the if condition, it should stop, right? No. Why should stop after if? What is the reason? What is the rationale behind it? Yeah, it is IIFE. Got it? Let count is redeclared. See, it was count here, like count equals to 0 here. We are in a block now. Let's suppose you are doing this. Let a equals to 5. Let a equals to 10. Okay, this will not allow. A has already been declared. But if you do like that, suppose I'm doing let count equals to 1 here, let count equals to 1 here, and let count equals to 1 here, console dot log count. Okay, I'll explain you. Okay, if you do that, the moment you do that, it is allowing you to see, it is allowing you to do, you know. And after that, let me do one more thing. See here, it's allowing me to do, or else if you just want to check it out, then debugger in a particular block you cannot declare. Okay, so same block you cannot redeclare this particular thing. Okay, but in another block you can declare it. Okay, so that's what the point here. Now if I do that, you can see it is outside of my block, right? So let in this particular block, it is allowing you to declare for one time, you know. If you do let count equals to 1, after that if you do let count equals to 0, it is not allowing you to do. I hope am I making sense? Okay, so in this particular block also, see, in this particular block I am allowing you to redeclare it. Cool. Okay, fine. Okay, so now I will be explaining you function currying. Okay, so let me go with the function currying. Okay, fine. So so first of all, I'll just let you know that if you are not pretty much confident in function currying, but although you should be, function currying is like advanced concept of JavaScript. It will not be asked in your like freshers interview and all, but you should know about it. Okay, that is why we are learning it. But if you are not comfortable on it, no worries on that. Okay, it's not that much of important, but it should be there in your mind that there is a concept called as function currying, and it's pretty simple. It's not a like hard, you know? And to be honest, I have not used many times this concept of function currying. Okay, it has a specific use case to implement it. Okay, am I clear? Okay, everyone, am I clear? Okay, so now currying is what? Like, what do you mean by currying? Okay, so currying like is one kind of a technique. Okay, through that you can bifurcate your multiple arguments, or you can divide your multiple arguments into a number of or sequence of single arguments. Okay, suppose you have a big task. For an example, you have a big task of coding e-commerce website. Okay, so what you will do, you will bifurcate that. Let's suppose you have a task of making e-com site. Okay, using Node and JavaScript, and like since you are a backend, so you will be using what Mongo, uh, MySQL, Node, Express, this kind of thing. And for deployment, I think so like Heroku and those kind of things we'll be using. All right, AWS and all those kind of things. So now have to make e-commerce site. So what and all our parts would be? First of all, we have to design it. Design, that means a proper project design, architecture wise. Then we will uh, bifurcate, like we'll further bifurcate the task of it, like which developer will do that particular task, which developer will do this task, which developer will work on this functionality. Okay, so we'll bifurcate that accordingly. Then after we'll be focusing on deployment, like which deployment model we will use, which platform, which CSP we will use. Like CSP does mean that cloud service provider. So which cloud service provider we will use, which kind of code uh code structure tool will be used. Like for an example, GitHub hai, then Bitbucket, then SourceTree. Which kind of tool will we be using for specific our use case? You know, which kind of IDE we use. So those kind of things we need to take care of. So can you see that this is a big task, making e-commerce site? We have divided further with sequence of another task, which is further dividing it to the subtask, okay, which will be handled by each and every single developer, right? Similarly, in your function currying, suppose you have a function, a big function, let's say function get me the pen, okay, so get pen. So in this particular function, if you don't know the function of currying, then what you will do that you will see this get pen would involve a sequence of further task. Let's say first of all, I need to go to my car. Then second, I need to go to my ATM because I don't have any money, physical money, and my stationary shop person is not accepting a digital payment. The third thing is, you should go to the shop and get pen. Okay. So this particular task of getting pen is involving this four task, right? This is my subtask. It is my sequence of subtask, right? So if you don't know the function of currying, then what you will do, you will first write that you need to go to car. This is your functionality. Suppose this is having my 20 lines of code. Then you will find a code for go to ATM. Okay. This is another having my 10 lines of code. Then I have my code for go to shop. Again 10 lines. Then I'll get my pen. Again 5 lines. Okay. So in total it will be 30, 40 and 45. So in total it will be like 45 lines of code in this particular function. If you don't know currying, you will use that. But if you know the currying, then what you will do? So yeah, first of all, let me tell you what is a disadvantage of this one. Okay. What is the disadvantage of following this one? That suppose after getting your car, you feel that there is no fuel. Okay, you are running out of your fuel, you don't have any petrol in your car. Then what you will do, you will not able to, you will not be able to go into your ATM store, right? ATM point, you know. So after this particular point of time, you will be having an error. Okay, and now what does this error, like what is this error? You, for that you need to debug this. Okay, you will not encounter what is my exact error by looking this error if you following this one, you know. So your further task will be on hold in this. Now if you follow the function currying in this particular same case, like say function get pen. Now what I will do, I'll not do anything much more, like will be involving rocket science. I'll be doing this four task only, but I will be making this time, I'll be making a separate function for that. So go to car, it will be my first function. Go to ATM, it will be my second function. Go to shop, it will be my third function. And get pen, it will be my fourth function. Okay. So I'll be dividing my main function to the four function. So let's suppose I will be having requirement of parameters in this particular thing. Let's suppose I am passing four parameters, uh, C, A, S, P. C for car, A for ATM, S for shop, P for get pen. Okay. So for car, I'm passing C. For ATM, I'm passing A. For S, I'm passing S. And for P. And the same case would be here, would be look like something that C, A, S, P. Now internally they are fighting. Whose parameter is what? Okay, na? Okay. So this is pretty cluttered. It is pretty cluttered code. It is not a clean code. This is, on the other hand, this is a clean code. Now let's suppose I'm having my same scenario. To let's say I'm going to my car and I observe that hey, I don't have any fuel left in my car. Let's say, so I don't have any fuel. So it is throwing me error, right? So it simply tell me that you will have some error in this function. It clearly state that. So I need not to go in this function, in this function, in this function. I will be just going into this function and see what's wrong with this. Okay. Okay. So the finding error here is very a piece of cake. So if you work in any other live project, right now, if anyone is working in live project, then they will know that finding a bug is a critical task, not solving a bug. Okay, so if you have a big application of e-commerce website, if you have any error on production, in any error on production environment, then solving that error is not a big task. Okay, solving error will just hardly require half an hour or 1 hour. Finding this particular error, what is the exact error in this, it's having a lot of effort. It will require a lot of efforts. So finding error is most critical task in live projects. So if you are finding this error in with just minimalistic operations or a piece of cake kind of things for you, then you are a very good developer. You will not find any difficulties implementing or working in any support projects or for any product projects or also, because you will know that where exactly it is throwing error. You will just see here only. Fine. Am I making sense? So see, what I did here was that I had four parameters. I had subdivided each and every parameters, and I have just passed single parameter to every function. I have not passed more than one parameter. Okay. Okay. So this is like theory of yeah, got it better than before, right? So this is just a theory points of currying, but now let me show you what exactly this currying means. Okay. So let's say, for an example, if you just want to see its syntax, or if you just want to see how it looks like in actual example, then let's suppose I have my function. Let's say I have my function as like go to cake shop. Okay. In that I am taking my parameter as a. Okay. Inside that I will be subdividing my task to multiple functions. Here I'm just taking one function as my parameter. So I'll be just passing another parameter of b inside this function. Now inside this, I'm taking my another parameter or another function. See, this is my one function, huh? This is my one function. This is my one function. Okay. Inside that, I'm doing my actual task. Let's say return a plus b plus c, like this. So I did what? I did divide my main task into three functions. Go to cake, return b, return c. Now, if I'll say that these are my three functions, then you need to call that also, you know. So how we will call that? How we will call that? We will just do this what particular function sum, or as go to cake here. So go to cake, it will be a calling with 1, with 2, with 3. So this will be transferred into this. ठीक है, this will be transferred into this will be transferred into this, because this is entire my function call, huh? You can call your function by doing this, you already know. Okay, so these are my three function calls here. This is my first function call, that does mean that it is I'm calling this function. This is my second function call, that does mean that I'm calling this function. This is my third function, that does mean that I'm calling my this function. If any of this particular value, so see, it is also procuring that in this particular return C function, you are in need of these three things, A, B, and C. Now, any one of this is not present here for due to some any scenario, hai na? Due to some any scenario, it is not present here, like A or B or C, anything. Okay? So it will not land here. It will not land here. It will be stopped by that particular process only. I'll be showing you in a while. Okay? So it is like modularizing large tasks into smaller management tasks. Yes, correct. So, case planning, please mute yourself, everyone. Okay. So I think we are making use of closure concept. Yeah, it will make a form of closure if you have some lexical thing here. Okay. So let's say after this go to kick A here, after that you have where A equals to 10. So it will form a closure with the A. It's the same concept. Fine. Okay. Okay. So you can call this particular thing by doing this. So this is a pretty important thing. What is this? Many senior developers don't understand that. Like how what is written here? They'll not know that. Okay. And we can have many functions nested here, right? Yeah, you can nesting, like you can implement nested function as many as you want here. Okay, that does not make any difference in that. Now, if I want to show you in real thing, let's say let me go into the this, or else let me go with this debugger point of, yes, this one. Fine. So now what I'll doing, I will just implement first of all just simple function of adding three numbers. Okay. Okay. So now if you want to implement that, let's say I'm doing add is equals to normal function. If you are working with normal function, then it would be look like this, ABC. Just return one, A plus B plus C. Okay. If you call this with a add 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now we just enclosed with this in the console dot log add. So it is pretty much clear that it will be give you output of what? 9, right? Okay. Now the same thing I want to do with the currying function. Okay. So I'll convert this function. I will transform this function into curry function. So for that, I'm just doing what? Curry add A, B, C. Inside that, so see, I have taken three parameters here. Will it be allowing me to do current states what? It will just have, it will bifurcate, it will divide this arguments into multiple single sequence arguments, right? So I have to just take one argument here. Okay. Okay. Now after this particular thing, I need to implement one another function which will accept this A as my argument. Then after I need to create one another function which will, in case of like in turn, accept my second argument, which in return will implement the third function which will take my C. And now I am doing what? Return A plus B plus C, like this. Okay. And after that here I'm doing consoling out, let's say, or else I'm doing my some variable, let's say const result, any variable, and I'm doing curry add. Then after I'm doing the same thing with the first function call, that is my 2, second will be 3, third will be my 4. Okay. Okay. Right. So what do you think, it will accept or not? Yes, correct. Why we need this? Why we need this? Because we have already accepted that, right? So we'll not use that. Huh? Now it is correct. No, outer function this missing. Okay, let's see. Which is with what? I'm not getting that, Ekta.
Sir, on line number 13, when we are making a call to that curry ad, is it not like compulsory to put an outer braces, like covering the 2, 3, 4 parameters?
Let's see if I'm doing that
No, no, sir,
like this.
not that one.
Okay,
No, no, no. The opening should be before second, yeah, 2.
this one.
Yeah, yes,
So
sir.
this
And
does mean that, so see, if you do that, then this does mean that you are passing one argument like this. This is my one
okay.
argument of create. It will be passed here. Do you mean by that?
Oh,
What our concept is that you have three different functions, है ना? So in the first function, this is my first function. This is my separate second function. This is my separate third function. Okay.
so I think I misunderstood that
Yeah, yeah,
concept. Now it's
yeah,
clear.
yeah. If you do that,
Okay, thank
see
you.
the both output are same, right?
Mm.
Okay. So now what I'll do, uh, can you do like that? That here I will be just doing let, let's say anything like add remainder equals to 3. So for everything, I will be just adding my add remainder. So will it allow me to do? Will it allow me to do? Yes or no? It should allow. Let's see. Okay. So 9 plus 3, that is my 12, right? So if I just copy everything out here and I'm stopping here and I'm going to the DevTools, I'm doing the same thing here, and let me put debugger here. Let me put debugger here. Okay. If I run this, say this out that add remainder is 3. Okay. Now see, it has closure. It has formed a closure na, with the outer function. That is my curry add. Hai, and with its lexical scope, that is what two things in my lexical scope. One is this and one is this. I hope everyone is clear with this particular point. Yes or no? Okay. Okay. Crystal clear na? Fine. Great. Okay. Now let's suppose I'm doing one another change with this here, that here also I'm taking one another variable. Let's say let inner c. I'm just taking this as 10. Okay. And I'm also adding as this inner c. And I'm also taking one variable here, let inner b is equals to 50 and let inner a is equals to 30. Okay. So I'm taking everything here, inner a plus inner b plus inner c. Will it able to run? Okay, let's do this. So see inside that, what is the case that, see, after you will have a debugger here, it will be inner a will be initialized with 30. You can also see in the local scope, you know, initialized with 30. Okay. Now it will be going to take this particular argument, है ना? So if I just press F11, you can see my cursor is right now here. It is going to take this particular thing. It will return here. So now B is my 3 because it has returned here for the second call. So what does the for function call means that when wherever your function has called, it should return to that particular position. Yes or no? That this is what the function call does mean that, है ना? So wherever you have function, like suppose here you have function called like this career first function you have called from here. So after it is doing from like after it will pass this to here, it should return the back thing wherever this was called. So it was called here, है ना? So then after it is another function calls, it will again go on here. Now if I'm doing debugging, if I'm returning here, it will be again come back to here wherever it was called. It will again fetch one more argument from this because it is also having one another call. If I'm doing F11 again, it will return again back here. My C will be my 4 now. Okay. So if you see inside this particular inner C, inside in the function return C, it is forming a closure with two things. Okay. So one is my outer thing, that is what my B equals to 3 and inner B equals to 50. One another thing, it's my parent's parent is what my A equals to 2 and inner A equals to 30. Here you will not find any function name. Okay, you have not find any function name here, just like career, because you are not having any function name here because it is my anonymous function. Okay, so you remember what does anonymous function does mean that it will not have any name. So what is the function name here? Nothing, right? Okay, so that is why in this particular closure you don't have any name. Okay, cool. Now if I'm doing that, it will return me by doing addition operation in all of that, and it will return 99. Okay, ठीक है, करेंगे is clear. करेंगे is clear guys. ठीक है. Okay, now if I want to ask you, one question regarding this currying concept. Okay, so let's suppose, so can I implement hoisting in currying? Why no? See, hoisting is a concept. Okay, so you can implement it anywhere you want, है ना? It does not mean that you can implement it in function X, like in currying you cannot implement it anywhere else. It does not work like that. Okay, it's just a concept. You can print it out, like you can implement it as the way you want. Okay, so now I'm asking you one interview question with respect to the currying, but I guess so I have not taught rest operators to you till now. I'll see that. Because currying will require you, if I want to ask you, then my questions will involve that particular thing. Okay, for an example, if I have this, just a second, if I have this, then what should be output of this? Can you see this particular thing of developer tools? Okay, so sorry. Can you see this particular thing? So what will be output of this? Six and eight. Okay, everyone agrees with that? Take your time. I'm not in hurry. Please take your time. Think about it and let me know. ठीक है, so everyone agrees with 6 and 8. I can just see one comment of Deepak. He said an error. Deepak, can you please say why? But let me tell you, it will not throw any error. Okay, let's try to run this. See, 6 and 8 will be my output. Okay, so these are my two functions if you observe. है ना? Yes or no? It's just way to write my arrow function. है ना? We have written the arrow function. Since it's just having one line, I have just write it like this. Right? So you don't confuse in this. Okay, now it's my multiply to 2 function. It is what my call in my multiple curried function with a parameter 2. Okay, okay. Now I'm doing what? Multiply 2 3. Okay, so it is passing me 2 and 3 here. Okay, I'm calling it again, so it will be a will be 2, 3 will be, b will be 3. Okay, so it will be 6, and again it will be 4 into 2, that will be 8. Yeah, arrow function inside an arrow function, it is allowed. Okay, so if you have some problem in that, so see here, initially we did not have this, है ना? Initially we did not have this, so I should have written that like this only, na? That, see, I told you that it is having just one line, then I can omit the return parameter, the return thing, and this particular bracket. Did I told you that? Did I tell you that? Yes or no? है ना? So if you remove that particular thing here also, it will work the same, just like this, like this, in one line only. Let's make it big. Okay, remove from here also, this, remove from here also, this should be there. ठीक है, I think you get my point, what I'm trying to say, है ना? ठीक है, it is pretty simple thing to write, right? Because here I have 3 inner functions. Yes or no? Inner A is not defined. Okay, let me clear this out. Yeah, inner A, I have to delete it from the definition of this. Okay, inner A is not there right now. B and C also. Okay, so see, both are the same now also, है ना? So this is another way to write it. Okay, don't confuse by this. You can see how simplistic is written here. This is the beauty of my arrow function. Nobody will tell you that these are the 3 function call here. You know, 3 functions are written here, right? Okay, now let's come back to this. So it's just a way to write it, right? Now tell me what should be my output. Okay, 6 and 8, right? Because let me put now debugger. Okay, so if you want to put debugger, I need to write return and this. Return B, and here this. Return A into B. Okay, So this should be my function call, unexpected token return. Why it is like that? Let me see. What is wrong with you? Okay, fine. Can anyone tell me what the problem is? I got the problem. Okay, so Nilander is saying put this. Okay, let me put this first return. Okay, what is inside the first return? What should I make the change here? Remove the first return. Okay, cool. So if I do this, okay, if I do this, it will run. It will run. Okay. So let's try to run this out. Okay, it's trying to run now. See, what I did was that in my multiple curry, that means A will be my 2. Okay. So if it will again go and try to call a second call. So now B will be my 3, right? So A into B will return to me the 6. Now it will again try to execute another statement. Since my first call has been defined correctly, it will be multiplied to 2, will be going into another like this here, and 4 into 2, that will be 8. It will be work like this. I hope everyone will get through it. It is pretty simple. If we remove 2 from multiple curry and pass 3 2, okay, you mean to say here like this, you want me to implement, Priyanshu? Remove in above line. Okay, so like this.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm saying remove from both these parameters 2 from this line. Let multiply to 2 multiplied curry. If we remove from parameters from here and give in the console thing like
Okay.
3 and 2.
Okay. So like this, you want me to say?
No,
Like
no,
this?
no, 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 no.
So
In the above line 3 and giving another parameter 2
like this.
and removing it from this line above line 2.
This entire line.
No, no, only 2 parameter 2.
Like this. Yeah, like this.
Yes.
Okay. So see now, please everyone observe what will make inside this. Okay, what will be happening this? Can you think it out? Can you think this out? See,
Yeah,
first of all, this multiple curried does not have any parameter, right?
Right.
Okay. So this multiple to 2, what it will be holding? So for an example, let me just have this first of all. Okay. So here, if I'll not pass this, what will be my output? We have seen this previously. Okay. So if we run this, see, this 9 will be okay, but this is returning me nan. Similarly, if you do this here like this, what it will be giving me? Let's see. Okay. See, now if you have called this particular A is nothing. Okay. Undefined. Okay. So this is undefined. Now, if I'm going further to take B, A is undefined. Okay. It is accepting just one argument. Okay. So B will be my 3 only. Okay. A is undefined. Undefined into B is what? Undefined into 3 is what? Okay. So if you see here, then it will print multiply to 2 is not a function. Just a second. Let me show another way so that you can understand it. Okay. A is undefined. Now it is going here. Okay. It has printed 3 into undefined. That is what? My nan. Okay. This is my nan. Okay. This is pretty much clear. Fine. But it is also calling this. Hai. So if I press F11, see, it is coming here. Hai. So that is why it is printing that this is not a function. Okay. After this, it is not having any further function here. Correct? So if for an example, if it is having like this another chain, sorry, okay, this is B, this is C, and this will return A into B into C. Okay, now this is my case. For an example, this is my case. Okay, this is my this one. See now, my A is what? My undefined. It will go to take B. B will be what? My 3. It will go to take C. C will be what? My 2. Now undefined into 3 into 2. It will be what? My nan again. Yes or no? Hai na? Now again it will be going here. It will log that particular nan. Okay. Just as previous case, it will again multiply to 2, go here, and now C is not there. Okay. C is not there. So there is nothing here. So what it will be printing? It will print the entire function. This we have looked upon it on the concept day, on the session day. है ना? ठीक है? So this is pretty much clear now. Nobody will confuse you in the function carrying, right? Because we have covered a lot of tricky cases and many things. Okay? Everyone? Yes or no? Clear? ठीक है. So and on that note, we will stop this particular session here. If you have any particular doubt, please ask me. Otherwise, we will be starting with the revision from tomorrow. Like for tomorrow's class, there will be revision class, and whatever examples I need to give you tomorrow, I'll be giving you that also. Okay. So the last output, Riyas. Last output that does mean that, see, this is multiplied 2 to 4. Okay. So this is not having any argument of C, है ना? That is why it is printing this particular thing. It will return that particular function. Okay. Okay. Cool. How can we refresh console page? So if you want to refresh your page in console, let me show you that. Just a second. Where is my console? Yeah, this one. Okay. So if you want to clear this out, if you want to clear this everything out, you can press this one, and you can press Control L. Control L is not working here. Okay. So you can just delete it out by Control A and delete it. Okay. Because if you are working with like in the Chrome, then I'll show you how I will do it. This is my Chrome, right? So if I want to delete everything here, then I will do Control plus L. It will delete everything out. Okay. So Control plus L is my key. Control plus L is my key. L does mean this. Okay. Okay. Can you please share the notes for yesterday's class? Okay. For yesterday's, I forgot that. Fine. I'll share that. I'll share that right away. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. So on that particular note, we are stopping this right now. And okay, let me see this. What it is? We are having an exam in next Sunday. Yeah. We'll revise that on Monday. Okay. Tomorrow we'll revise that. No worries. Today's class note. Today's class is like more about doubt session. So I have not copied any code for today. Okay. So I cannot share it because I haven't copied that. You can watch the recordings as well. Yeah, Deepak. Where's that? Okay. Okay. So if you want that particular code also, like you have to tell me on the very next class, I'll be copying that. I'll be take care of that. Or else I'll be just take care of that I'll copy the code just as the way we'll do in the normal class, in the doubts class as well. Okay. Because I thought that it's doubt class, so there's no need to copy the code. Fine. So from the next class, I'll do that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Ikta. Have a great weekend, everyone, and have a great day. Fine. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time, 8 p.m. Okay. No, not from tomorrow, just for tomorrow. Okay, so for Monday only we'll be having revision class. Fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you, and thanks for attending the class, and we'll be seeing tomorrow. I'm ending this session. Okay, thank you everyone. Goodbye.